extinct. Fortunately, they are now protected by law under the Wildlife and Countryside Act 1981. So an unlicensed bat worker, such as myself, has certain restrictions on what I can and can't do, otherwise I would be breaking the law. I spend quite a lot of my time and money contacting companies who may come in contact with bats while they are at work if a builder intends to build an extension onto a house which will disturb bats. And it's a legal requirement for them to contact the Nature Conservancy Council. So I tell them what their options are, what they've got to do. I've written to about 50 companies and not one of them has replied. Another part of my bat conservation work is going out to public and private groups where I give illustrated slideshows regarding bats. I've got quite a few notices in the libraries around the Rotherham area. I'm in the telephone book, and I've even managed to get a little advertisement within our local Thomson directory. As a result of this, I've received 55 bat calls in 1 month alone. And I started looking after sick and injured bats when I worked at the RSPCA. You don't need a licence to look after injured bats, just as long as they are injured. And as soon as they're well enough to be released, they've got to be released. I've had quite a few number of bats this year. I think I've had about 10, of which 5 have been successfully released back into the wild. When I receive injured bats and I have to keep them in captivity, I've got to feed them on mealworms, and my bats will eat about 20 of those a day. One of my bats, which is Cricket, he can now fly, and his injuries didn't heal until about 2 months. And if bats are kept in captivity for over 20 days, they've got to be kept in permanent captivity. Otherwise, the chances of survival within the wild would be bare. I live here in Kimberworth, just outside of Rotherham in South Yorkshire. Some good areas for bats around Rotherham are at Griesborough, Wath-upon-Dearne, Barnborough, Horlington, and down in Dinnington. Most people believe that you only find bats roosting in the belfry and in dusty old buildings, but in fact, you're more than likely to find them roosting in modern-day buildings, such as this one here. Typical places where they roost is in the gable apex, the roof apex, and even in the cavity wall. Any nook and cranny will do. In the 19th century, there was 1/3 of a million greater horseshoe bats. Today, there are less than 3,000. Britain's most common bat, the pipistrelle, their population has declined by over 60% in the past 10 years. So what are the reasons for the rapid decline in their population? There are a number of factors which contribute to this, such as timber treatment, habitat loss, disturbance of the roost, destruction of the roost, and even bad weather can contribute. Another threat which faces bats is the spraying of insecticides. It is rather peculiar, really, because bats are one of the best natural insecticides that there are, with, again, the pipistrelle bat feeding up to 3,500 insects per night. One of the ways to tell if you've got bats is to look for the presence of bat droppings, which are often found on windows. Some people believe that bat droppings constitute a health hazard, but in fact, their droppings are very good garden fertiliser and carry no health risk at all. Many people believe that bats build nests and gnaw wood, but they don't. All they do is just either hang from the bricks or tuck themselves away in a little like crevice. Bats hang upside down and they hang by their feet, and within the joints of their legs they have kind of mechanism which allows them to rest upside down. And even if a bat has died, you'll find that the bat can continue hanging. The body temperature of a bat needs to be around 30 degrees Celsius before they can do anything such as fly. That makes them particularly at risk when they're in hibernation around the winter months. So if they are disturbed, they can't get out of the way quickly. As I don't have my bat licence yet, I am unable to take you into a bat roost to film, which would also require an additional licence for the film crew. But I am able to take you into a known feeding area, such as this one. Even though it might be difficult for you and me to see bats, we must continue to conserve them and protect them. After all, bats need friends.
Great, I had a dream about bats last night. You like bats as well, don't you? So you've got a few friends that are bats, haven't you? Yes. If you're interested in bats, then maybe if you wanted to join perhaps a bat trust, sort of a bat group, you could find out by contacting your County Naturalist Trust. That's the County Naturalist Trust. Their phone number should be in your local phone book, or if not, then maybe go down to the library. And there we are. Some letters now, I think. It's time for some letters. You're just getting your own back now, aren't you? You're just getting your own back, shouting down the megaphone. There's no need for that, Gordon. There's no... Enough! Enough!
Keep your eyes down, Gordon. Thank you. Don't come over to the gate.
I don't know how you turn it down, though. It's going to howl for the next 5 minutes. There we are. Quickly do so. Thank you very much indeed. I think it's about time we said that. Thank you very much indeed for all the letters that you've sent in during the course of the series. We have had a lot of fun. It's been great fun reading them. Do keep them coming in if you can. And also, don't forget, we're back in September, so anything that happens to you, anything you want to write about, send them in. Great to see you. This certificate is to show you, little Sarah, little Gordy, presented another excellent series of Going Live. That's come from Jane Gallagher. Thank you very much indeed for that. We've got our own certificate here. Certified that Philip Schofield, Sarah Green and Gordon the Gopher have successfully presented another fabulous series of Going Live, so we thank you very much for that. Excellent. Gordon has in fact now managed to get himself onto the front of a canoe. This has been sent in by Helen Barnes. This is the design that's going on her canoe. She'll be travelling in that during the waterways in the course of the summer. Gordy on the front of her canoe. And it's a great shame, actually, that this is the final programme in this series, because I had an idea for a feature here, which unfortunately we can't do, which is a great shame. Maybe I'll save it till the next time. This has come from Joanne Henschel. Thank you very much indeed, Joanne. She says, my pet dog Dylan is a Shih Tzu and has the, stop it, and has the biggest tongue you could ever imagine. He is a record breaker. Now, you remember little Butch, the dog we had on, Julia's dog, who Julia's directing today. Her dog has got a very long tongue as well. But here we are. Here are the pictures of the little Shih Tzu's tongue, and the little tiny one there, but it gets longer. He can stick it up his nose. And that, look at this, the enormous tongue. And I thought, there's a feature and a half. We could have had longest tongues in history, but unfortunately, we can't do it because we have run out of programmes. I'll see you a little bit later, okay? And as I said, thank you very much indeed for your letters. All the floor today, in case you're wondering, you got shots of it, all the floor, we've got stars, all the crew have signed the floor today. Everyone signed the floor and put their handprints and their footprints down. But now it's time for the great bonus mega bonanza giveaway. Oh, here we go, some trendy music. And it is the turn of the Music Centre. It's the Music Centre that's got to go. Everything, of course, got to be given away today. Tennis gear given away a little bit later on. But if you'd fancy this, and it's got CD, twin cassettes, radio, all the business, here's your question. Which British city has just completed its own symphony hall? Which British city has just completed its own symphony hall? Answers on a postcard to us here at Going Live, BBC Television, London W12 7RJ. The winner will be announced on Children's BBC on Thursday afternoon, because we haven't got a programme next Saturday, so it'll be on Thursday. And if you get that question right, this could be yours. Now, the very weird, strange thing is that a singing corner seemed to have completely disappeared. We have rumours of the fact that they have indeed themselves gone to Australia. We have still got our satellite link up to Australia there, and I do believe the singing corner are in Australia. Hello.
Hi, hello, Philip.
Hello. You can hear us okay?
Yeah, yes. Yes,
good.
Yes.
Could you take your sunglasses off, please? I don't like pop people wearing sunglasses on television. You can't see their eyes, can't see whether they're honest or not.
Oh, it's so bright.
Yeah, take them off.
Oh, it's so bright.
Oh, the sun's shining.
So, how are you?
Oh, it's lovely here, Philip. It's so hot and sunny.
Yes, we're in Australia, you see, Philip.
Yeah, yes, I gathered that. Why did you go to Australia?
Oh, we're on an exchange visit with Danny Minogue.
Oh, I see. Have you visited many places?
Oh, yes. We've been to see Alice Springs.
That's a very popular tourist attraction.
No, it's my auntie, Alice Springs. She lives here. We wanted to visit her. Yes.
Whereabouts does she live?
Alice Springs.
What do you think of Australian television? Have you watched any?
Oh, it's the same as English ones, Philip. You know, square with a glass screen, knobs, aerial,
yes.
lead,
yes, fine.
plug.
Yes, fine. Thank you. Thanks.
Matthew Kelly.
Do Oh dear. Do you still swing your pants then? What do the Australians think of that?
No, we can't, Philip. It's too hot.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, I tried to swing my pants yesterday, but they got too steamy and hot and sweaty. Oh.
Perhaps you're wearing the wrong clothes then.
Oh, but Philip, these are the only clothes we've got.
Oh, that's unfortunate then. They might get a bit smelly after a while, I would have thought, in the
yes.
steaming sunshine. So you can't get away with it this morning. It's the last show of the series after all.
Oh, no, but we can't.
No,
Our
we
pants
can't.
might boil over.
No, bit of swing pants swinging, I think.
No, my pants will overheat. No, we can't. No, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Oh.
No,
I think you're being a little bit pathetic. Have you got your guitar?
no.
Yes, here it is.
Oh.
Oh. And
Well,
look,
give
I've
us-
got my didgeridoo. I've been playing with it all morning.
Have you really? Cheap joke. Well, come on then, give us a song.
Oh, I didn't realise.
I did.
Give us a song then.
Oh, if you
It's
insist.
so hot.
Oh, it is. Oh, hot. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Come on.
Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. Here we go. Fa la 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 la, swing your pants. Fa la 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 la, swing your pants. Oh dear. Oh, I think we're going to spontaneously combust.
yes. Oh, I'm smoking.
Oh, we shouldn't. It's bad for you.
No, look, I really am smoking.
Oh no, so am I. Oh, I'm overheating a bit.
Oh, me too. Oh, swing your pants. Oh, no. Oh,
I
it's
think we're going to
getting
explode.
hotter. Oh, no.
Well. Two more characters seem to have exploded. It's happening a lot on the programme this morning. How extraordinary. Hopefully our next guests won't explode on the programme. They're Transvision fam.
Hey, sister, are you coming round soon? Hey, sister, in your midnight blue. Hey, sister, are you coming round soon? Hey, sister, oh, I've been missing you. But don't pay it any mind if it seems like I'm acting cool. Oh, you can trust me in your mirror, give me kisses forever and a day. But there's just one thing you don't have to say. You don't have to say you love me, and you don't have to say any prayers. No, you don't have to say you love me, baby. Oh, you're the only one. I've been walking all through the night and dreaming all day. I ain't got nothing left to say. That you're the one, you're the only one, you're the only You're mine, the stars told me. You're mine, it's your destiny. It's true, it was meant to be. It's true, it's your destiny.
Well done. Come and take the weight off your slingbacks, Wendy, and sit down. Look, before you sit down, though, we just... Oh, no, why are you covering up your dress? Come and stand here. Come on, let's have a quick twirl now. Absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's handy that your knickers match, isn't it?
I think they're actually sewn into it, fortunately.
Oh, are they? Do all your knickers match your frocks?
Well, no, I don't usually wear them.
Oh, what, not knickers?
No.
Oh, right, right. So you're not scared about catching cold or anything?
Oh, no, if you wear a warm pair of woolly tights,
Oh, I
usually...
see, woolly tights, yeah, but they wouldn't look right with the frock,
No,
would
wouldn't
they?
they, really?
Was it specially made for you, the
No,
dress?
no.
It's tiny.
No, it's off the rack.
Well, you just pop down to your local store and get it. Good Lord. We have got
amazing what you can
questions in the studio, questions on the phones.
You were all dancing, weren't you, just then?
We've got so many people in the studio this morning that we have half the audience dancing with you over here and half here.
I recognise that.
Waiting with bated breath to ask you questions. In fact, we'll start with one down the end here. That's Roz, isn't it? Yeah. Roz has got a question for you.
Do you think women have as much freedom as men as in what they wear?
No, I don't, actually. I mean, legally we do. Legally we have as much equality as we need to have, but I don't think mentally, no, we don't have that yet. I still think men have certain concepts of what a respectable woman is, what an attractive woman is, what a hard-working woman is, what a lazy woman, what a poor, what a rich. There are still a lot of concepts,
but
aren't
who
there?
do you think makes those strictures? Do you think that is just imposed from men, or do you think that actually comes from women themselves?
I think, well, because of the history of women when there weren't equal rights, there's still a lot of that conditioning in women themselves, and then also that's followed on by the media, the way the media portrays women, which is awfully crass, because there isn't enough time to explain all the depths of how a woman, female intricacies or whatever, and then on top of that, the men themselves. I think it's very, well, the fact that nowadays women are doing so many things that men only used to do, probably men feel a little frightened, and it's very easy, and it's the easy way out, isn't it, to pigeonhole women to, you know, kind of...
Oh, it's always easy to stereotype people, yes, it makes things very handy. But do you think things are getting better?
Oh, they must be, of course, with each new generation. The more liberal-minded parents there are in our generation, the more our kids will... And so it goes on. So ultimately, yes, I do think we'll find a world that we'd actually be pleased to live in. And it's certainly so much better now than it ever has been before, but I still don't think it's quite right.
No, no. Let's go to the phones now and see who's on line one.
That's a long answer.
Who's
Hello?
there?
Hello?
Hello, who's that?
Masood.
Matthew, what's your question? Oh, Masood.
My question is, what the title of the new album, the Bubble
Babble?
What does it mean?
That's a good question. Well, it's actually called The Little Magnets versus The Bubble of Babel, and it's similar to what we were taught. It involves the last question, and it's just, we kind of took the little magnets as the fate and people's destinies and the real things in life.
What, you're actually going to be drawn to something?
Yeah,
as
that there are certain things that happen in your life that are meant to happen, if you like, from basics as to, you know, procreating and keeping our race going. And so that's the little magnets, and that's versus all the confusion, the mess, and that could be just splitting up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend and thinking, I can't live anymore, which is such an extreme to the, you know, war in the Middle East. These things are man-made and probably rather unnecessary.
And that's the Bubble Babble,
And that's
Tower
the
of
Babel
Babel type.
all the talking,
hysteria.
the rubbish. Cool?
Thanks, Masood. Thank you very much for that. Let's stay with the phones and go to line 2. Let's go to line 2.
Hello?
Hello, who's there?
Hello, Wendy, it's Fiona.
Hi.
Hi, I was wondering, what have you been up to in your year off?
Gosh, you know, I was so tired. We were actually going to start doing the third album at the beginning of 1990, but because we were so tired from everything we had been doing, we decided to take a few months off and hang out with our friends, go on a few bike rides, you know, just take it easy and be like normal people. So just for the first part of 1990, we just relaxed. And then towards the end, we got back into the studio, and that's where I've been locked up ever since. And now we're here, ready to go again. And I tell you what, it was really good that we did take a break, because it had got to the point where the music wasn't so much fun anymore, it was work. Oh, you've got another interview, oh, another television, oh, another tour. And when it turns into that, you start wanting not to do it, and that should never happen. So it's good that we took a break, because now I'm fresh-faced and ready to go again.
Thanks very much for that.
Thanks,
Fiona. Kay's got a question now.
What is your utmost concern in the environment?
I don't know if you could find one specific. I mean, the environment concerns all of us as human beings. It concerns animal welfare, and it concerns the survival of the planet itself. And I think for my personal life, as much as I can bring into my own household, I possibly, that's everything I can do. And then if Transvision Vamp can actually go out and promote environmental issues. But it's no point just saying, oh, we only care about the ozone, or we only care about not wearing fur coats, because it's a general attitude towards life itself that I think you have to be, that especially, you know, your age and my age, we're the younger ones, and it's for us to change the older people's opinions, because sooner or later, you know, they're going to die before we are, and then it'll be up to us to take over, and, you know, we'll be the older generation, and hopefully by the time we get to being the older generation, we'll have some, you know, the world will be a better place if we start concentrating on caring about things now. And you got a few years on me, so you're even more important than I am.
Let's stay on the floor now with Zoe's question, please.
Do you always say what you think?
Yes, and it's got me into so much trouble, which is unfair, I think. It's difficult, you know? I mean, yes, like all people, if somebody says something, you react straight away, don't you? But it's slightly different if you're famous, because you react as you would if you were with your friends walking down the street. But then it gets printed, and then people go, oh, you can't say that about people. So maybe in some ways, as I've got a little older, I've brought in I've become slightly more diplomatic. You know, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, which is what my father always used to say. But generally, yes, of course, you must always tell the truth.
Wendy, thanks very much for coming in this morning. They were very good questions, and ones which I know that you could have spent a lot longer talking about, but thank you.
Thank you for having us.
For coming in and chatting. Very best of luck
Thank you.
with Bubble Babble, Babble Bubble.
Little Magnets versus the Bubble Babble.
Great to see you
Thank you.
again.
Thanks.
We've got more music coming up later on this morning. And now I've been handed this note. Trevor and Simon are somewhere.
Trev, is it time for the potatoes, yeah?
Of course it's not. It's not yet.
It's not potatoes.
No,
because when is it? They want us to link into the, what's it called? The,
Don't worry.
the nasty potatoes.
No, they'll come and get us if they need us.
You sure about that?
Of course they will.
I just don't want us to be in the wrong place and miss out on
We
anything.
won't be in the wrong place.
Those potatoes, it's important.
We won't be.
You know.
What are you doing here now?
Is it the potatoes now?
It's not now, is it? Well, we'll come and do the link.
It's
What?
the pimentos, Oh, no.
And down it disappears into the tomato. There's a great credit on the end of that programme. Voice Talents by Voice Talents, starring the voice talents of. And next week, the voice talents will be the 8:15 from Manchester. The Revenge of the Killer Tomatoes actually continues next week on the programme. Ross is back, Charlotte's back, Sonia is also presenting, and Diane Oxbury from the Radio 1 Breakfast Show will also be on the programme as well. A lot of people phoning up asking where Bros are this morning. Sadly, they are embroiled deeply in a recording studio and couldn't quite make it. We don't think they're going to make the end of the programme. We are trying, but we're not actually sure. So if you are phoning up wondering what's going on, that's the reason. They're trying to get all their other stuff just sorted and finished before the release date.
Okay, right, stand by, everybody. What are you doing in here?
I can't afford this anymore, I'm afraid. Sorry.
It's all going to go back?
Yes, for a few weeks till the autumn. Yes. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Humphrey.
Thank you.
Okay. Stand by, everybody. Lights, cameras, action, makeup, wardrobe, standing by to cue Emma's hello and cue.
Hello.
Thank you very much indeed. That's a wrap, everyone. We can all go home.
Welcome back. Not cooking today.
Not cooking.
No,
Not a saucepan in sight.
That's probably a bit of a relief for everyone watching, I would think.
It might be.
I didn't really muck it up that much, did I?
Well, no, not always, Philip. You did have your moments, didn't you?
There were a number of
Can't
disasters.
think of them right now, but
there were
I'm
a
sure
number
you
of
did.
disasters. And was the most bizarre one for you actually cooking on the train?
Probably the most bizarre, yes. A little hot, perhaps, was it?
Yes, just a wee bit warm. It's like 1,000 degrees in there. You obviously cook, do you cook at home?
Yes.
What sort of stuff do you like cooking? What's your favourite stuff?
Pasta. I'm a big pasta, chocolate, anything really fattening.
I mean, as a sort of professional telly cook, I'm probably not quite right to ask you this question, but have you ever burnt anything at home? Do you burn a lot of stuff?
I hate to tell you, but that's actually what I'm best at, is burning things.
Is it?
I have major burn-ups in the kitchen.
And the most important thing is that you will be coming back
I will
next
be coming
series
back,
in
yes.
September, and we'll do
Yes.
some more. Any ideas of the sort of thing we could perhaps do?
Well, I thought, do you think it'd be fun if people could write in and say what they'd like us to cook?
Oh, that's a
Do you think
good
it's a good idea?
That's a good
Because
idea.
people might have a favourite recipe. Obviously,
that I could destroy.
I don't mean to be rude, Philip, but don't you think we should say that we should ask people not to do too complicated things for you? Not that you're not good at them, but perhaps not flambe them. No flambeing, I think.
Sure.
for Philip.
Okay, if you want to keep it simple for me, then that'll be really good. The address, you just shut up as well, Gordon. The address, the address for your recipe ideas, which we'll try and cook in the next series of Going Live, as always, Going Live, BBC Television, London, W12 7RJ. Now we've got a hyper pick coming up later on, plus a fantastic Trevor and Simon film. I can't tell you any more about it than that. It's a brilliant movie coming up a little bit later on in the programme. But now let's do our competition. Join me over here.
Oh, yes.
This is the final one of my mega bargain bonanza giveaways.
Wow.
This is an entire tennis setup. You
And
get the
speaking
whole
as a
lot.
professional tennis player, I think this is a seriously good racket.
I was going to open these, but I won't, so that when you win them, they'll be all nicely sealed up. I was going to have
at
one...
this.
Oh, you know. When you get it, if you win, and you think, hey, these balls are opened, then you'll know who actually did it. OK, it was me. One whack, OK?
Here you go, Philip.
I was
Remember to hold...
I was going to let you do it, actually.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you have a go. There you go.
Stand back, everybody. OK?
Yeah, Simon Foster's just at the back of the camera, so straight
Oh,
on
you
his
have to
head.
make the noise as well, like they do at Wimbledon
the
when they
noise,
hit
yeah,
it. OK,
I'll do
let's
the
go. Oh!
You got Sarah. One more go.
Action this time.
Okay. Oh! Oh! Oh!
Fair enough. Here's your question. Oh! Your question to win this tennis gear, if you would like it. The Grand Slam is made up of 4 tournaments. In which 4 countries are they held? Grand Slam held in it's a tournament of 4 countries. Which countries is the Grand Slam held? Answers on a postcard to us here, Going Live. BBC Television, London, W12 7RJ, and you could have all this tennis stuff. We will see you in the next series of Going Live.
Definitely.
Thank you very much indeed for coming along.
Not at all.
Now, a little quiet, easy conversation with Trevor and Simon.
That's interesting, Trevor. David Putnam, you know David Putnam's on later.
Who?
Putnam.
Oh, I hope he wears his cloak then.
Pardon?
Batman, you say?
Batman from Putnam, is that the best you can do?
I'm sorry,
Trevor?
no, I genuinely misheard you. I thought you said Batman. I didn't know you said Putnam.
No, Putnam.
Oh, does David Putnam have a cloak?
No. Well, no, I wouldn't think so. No, he wouldn't have. Well, he may have had a cloak when he ran Columbia.
He'd need more of a cloak to run Columbia. He'd need an army. He'd need the financial backing of one of the major superpowers.
No, Trev, not that Columbia, not the country Columbia. I'm talking about the Columbia Film Studios.
Oh, right. Oh, well, so who runs them now, then?
President Cesar Gaviria.
Hmm?
No, only joking. He runs the country of Columbia. No, mind you, he'll have a cloak.
He'll have an
Cesar.
army. He'll have an army.
Yeah. No, but David Putnam, the producer I'm talking about, is a producer of some of the most successful films of the modern time.
Yeah.
He's produced The Killing Fields, Chariots of Fire, The Mission. That was filmed in Columbia as well.
The studios?
No, in the country.
Oh, and what about Chariots of Fire? Was that filmed in Columbia?
No, that was filmed in slow motion.
He's an impressive man, though.
You, Colin Welland?
No, David Putnam.
Oh, yes.
Fine beard.
Well, of course, anyone who's a success in the world of the cinema has to have a fine beard, you see. They just don't have time to shave.
Like who?
Oh, Scorsese, Coppola, Spielberg.
Yeah, but some of them have shaved them off now, haven't they? It's probably to do with the recession, though, isn't it?
Eh?
Well, they've got more time on their hands.
Oh, yeah, so they've more time to shave.
That's right. I wouldn't mind being a big, busy film director.
No, me neither.
It's a start, then, isn't it?
Oh, John Book.
Oh,
John
yes.
Book.
John Book, the gun of the... Oh, there's another big,
there's
busy
another film
director.
director.
Is that right now, then?
Yeah, it
That
feels
looks
really
very
nice.
good.
Do you want to feel my beard?
I've not got a moustache.
No, it's very nice. John Book.
John Book.
I'll do the next bit now,
Off you go, then.
Okay. What drives, eats, sleeps in a great big bus, visits over 80 places in the USA and in Canada, and is very loud? The answer is contained in this exclusive American soundcheck special. It's very itchy.
Check it out, 'cause ice is rhyming. To the top I keep on climbing. Suckers thought I couldn't swing this. Now I rock the crowd and get a pump.
He's good. He's great.
Yep. Me, you can't hang. Vanilla's in this with a shotgun bang. Extreme.
Not only do I sweat when I work and the dancers and everybody, but I make the crowd sweat. I like to get the crowd involved in it, just super hyped. I mean, just get everybody just screaming, dancing, and just having a good time, and turn it into a big party.
Real sexy and nice. Play that funky music, Vanilla Ice. people thought I wouldn't break. Then I stuffed #1 in their face.
I watched James Brown when I was a little kid on you know, on the television. I would get up and hi, you know, move around and stuff like that, and got into the groove and to the rhythm of it. Then out came this song called Rapper's Delight. You know the song hip hop, hippie to the hippie to hip hop, yeah, that was. And I got into it right then and there. About the same time, every rapper just about got into it. You know, rap is black. There's no doubt about it. It's the white guy that's doing it. Rap music came from the streets. I'm just happen to be a white guy that grew up in the streets, and I express myself through rap music. Isn't rap music about expression? It's not about color. Music's about expression, period. The music that I do is not the same rap music as you hear every day. It's different. You know, it's a new style. I call it above ground. You know, it doesn't sound like I'm this and I'm that. The lyrics, you can understand them. You know, stop, collaborate, and listen. Ice is back with my brand new invention. You can understand every word. You know, I hear a lot of rappers. What the hell did he say? That's what, you know, that's what you're doing, and people can't understand it.
The most music, K104. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Sean Phillips, and we've got some big stuff happening today at the radio station.
Say go white boy, go white boy, go.
He's probably the first white artist to gain mainstream acceptance in rap music. There are several other rappers who were white, but they haven't become nearly as predominant. I mean, he's rivaling MC Hammer in America right now, the big rivalry for who is the top rapper. And that's never been seen before. It's never been accepted. Rap is a very street thing, especially when you get into some of the hardcore rap where, you know, it's not really something that they want too much of the, I don't know how to put it, too much, they don't want the suburban people involved in it. It's a very socially conscious movement. Back in the 70s, we had folk music, and that was where they expressed their social consciousness, and in the 90s, it's rap music that does that. I mean, you get into artists like Ice-T, for example, who's huge here. They're all anti-gang, anti-violence, anti-drug. They're making a positive statement about society. And they have pretty much excluded white rappers from the group. But Vanilla Ice is the first that's really come in and had an impact, and an incredible one at that.
Say go white boy, go white boy, go. Go white boy, go white boy, go. Just lay down and boogie and play that funky music to you.
Vanilla Ice, the tour is here tonight. Vanilla Ice live. And opening for them tonight's going to be Riff. Great new group. They got a great new song. And we've got the group here. They're gonna showcase their song and play it and even sing it for us. About 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Steve.
I'm Mike.
I'm Kenny. I'm Wayne.
And I'm Anthony.
And we're Riff.
And you're listening to Sean Phillips on K104.7. I wonder why. I wonder why. Yeah, I feel like my heart is failing me.
Yeah.
Boom.
He's really hot.
He's really cute.
And I don't think people should believe what they're saying about him. Yeah. I think it's really rude what they're doing.
What are they saying about him?
That he lies and that he's not really from the streets, and I just think it's just something that they're trying to say about him just for media attention.
The security's sitting them down.
Yeah.
Say what? Ain't no security sitting nothing down at my shows, man. You should have told me that stuff, or if that happens, you can say on stage, hey, security, stay away from this. This is, you know, they came here to rock. If y'all want to stand up, y'all stand up. If that ever happens and security does that, just tell the crowd, say, hey, if y'all want to party, you party. in front of a crowd, and that's what I like. That's the whole reason why on tour that I don't get, you know, bored with everything that's going on. Like same venue, same bus, same, you know, everything, every night, same routine over and over and over and over. The reason why I don't get bored is because I love it over and over. If I could stay on stage every night for 2.5, 3 hours, I would do it. I stay on for every single second that I can stay on. This is where I love to be. This is my home. A lot of artists out there, they get, I don't know what, they get big-headed, you know? They get on the tip where they think they're God or something. That ain't the way to be, man. I don't believe in that because they forget that what goes up must come down. And I'm bringing rap music into, you know, ears that have never even listened or considered listening to rap music. And I'm bringing it to them. And that's the reason for the phenomenon of Vanilla Ice.
We've been going out now for about 2 years, and I still...
I'm definitely bringing the show over there. And it's going to be a serious hype show, and I hope everybody comes because if you really like to party, Vanilla Ice is in the house, and that's the place to be. Yep, with me.
Things I've done. So no matter what goes on, no matter what happens, just...
Soundcheck catches up with Vanilla Ice in the States. Vanilla Ice wrote the music to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Now we have the first print available in this country. Here's a sneak preview on Going Live.
Wishbone Crunch on 2! Hut, hut! Wow! You better run and hide, because one day you might not slide, so choose. Your weapon don't slip, you know.
You saw, then give it up for a turtle! Ninja!
We're not through yet.
Ha! There we are, the Turtles having a bit of a rave with Vanilla Ice. That's on release in this country in August. Still to come this morning, we have David Putnam as our press conference guest, a live performance from Bananarama, and here's Green Line.
Hello and welcome to Green Line. Now in a moment I'm going to be announcing the winners of the Green Magazine competition. But first, our news updates. That animals in other parts of the world are suffering too. Thailand has recently been labelled the wildlife supermarket of the world by the Worldwide Fund for Nature. Rhinoceros and antelope horns, ivory from both the African and Asian elephant are openly on sale here in Bangkok. Even baby tigers and protected rare birds are also on display, and all of this is quite illegal. WWF has urged people not to visit the country until the Thai government improves its record on animal rights. And in response, Thai officials have said that they'll be trying to force through new legislation this month to punish these illegal traders most harshly. Now, at the same time, animals in this country have also been in the news. A public appeal has been set up by the Zoological Society to save London Zoo, which is apparently in desperate need of modernisation. The initial worry was that a closure would lead to many of the 8,000 animals having to be put down. But the government is now considering proposals to move some of these animals to other homes should the zoo actually have to close. Finally, the sports and leisure company Dunlop wants to know if you're just a bit too big for your boots.
Its factory here in Liverpool is willing to recycle your old Wellingtons and any other products provided they are made from PVC. Dunlop now wants to talk to local authorities about the prospect of setting up some recycling welly banks. Now, back in January, you may remember that the Green magazine was looking for an environmental story for the centre pages of its May issue. That's what we have here. Now, the winners of that project were the Green Group at Deanfield School in Reading. Having talked to members of the group, Mick Hurrell, the editor of the Green magazine, returned to his office to record his findings.
Okay, Tim, can you tell me a little bit about how the Green Group started and how it works?
Well, it started about a year ago. We got a letter home about it.
Okay, and who's actually involved in it?
Well, there's two teachers. There's Mrs. Painter and Mrs. Holland. And there's about 40 children, which is divided up into the junior, which is for first years, and the senior, which is the second years.
Now, you recycle paper. How do you go about doing that?
Well, we've got some boxes in each of the classrooms where they put in the paper, and it gets delivered to here, but unfortunately it gets a bit mixed up, so you've still got to sort through it. We put it into separate sacks, and then it gets taken away to a recycling plant in West London.
Graham, could you tell me something about the recycling of aluminium you do in the Green Group?
Well, we put bins in the foyer and one bin in the dining room, and we go around collecting the cans in the bin, bring them back in, sort through for aluminium and steel, and separate the steel and put them in the bin.
Okay.
And then we crush the aluminium cans, put them in a bag, and send them off to a recycling plant where we get a penny a can.
What other projects are the Green Group involved in at the school?
Well, one other project is the cops at the other end of the field. We've completely cleaned it out of litter, and now we've seen quite a lot of wildlife over there.
Well, now, Andrea, we're here in the copse. Now, what sort of condition was it in before you started work on it?
When we first started, it was full of grass cuttings that had been dumped here by the council, and litter and rubbish, and lots of things had been buried underneath the grass cuttings. And over there's sort of like a massive slope of grass where it's all been, so we had big bonfires to clear it all out, and there wasn't a fence around here either, so we bought that with some of the money we raised.
Now, some of this rubbish sounds quite dangerous as well.
Yeah, it is. There's lots of wire cuttings and wire fences, and bits of wire hanging out and tin cans. And
Now, has it been successful in attracting back wildlife to the area?
there are badgers and here, and foxes and rabbits and different types of birds.
I see over here we've got the bird boxes. Now, who put those up?
A couple of people in the first year made them with the help of our CDT teachers, and they came up here and put them up on their own.
This is the proof of this page, Mick. Are you happy with the position and crop of that picture?
Yeah, well, that's great, Rob. So, that's a bird box building. Now, what about the animal rights section?
Well, we're using the picture supplied. I'll scan these into the computer. So, do you want to have a look at this?
That'd be great. Excellent.
This is the centre spread, Mick, with everything in position except for the Deanfield logo.
That's good. Well, can we see the logo in position then?
Yep, sure.
Sarah, what has the Green Group been finding out about animal cruelty?
We've watched various videos which have been sent to us from organisations such as the BUAV, which is the British Union for the Abolition of Vivisection, and they show us tests which are done on the animals and how they're killed afterwards. They're just put in bags and suffocated. And this is really awful, and we just want it to be stopped. That's what the Green Group's campaigning against.
I know you've been involved in campaigning, and you've been writing letters to companies. What sort of response have you had?
Yeah, well, I've been asking them about their company policy. This one says that they're trying to find alternative methods, but the parent companies still test on animals.
What else have you been involved in on the animal welfare front?
Well, we've adopted 2 elephants in Kenya, one for the senior group and one for the junior Green Group.
Now, Lucy, do you know anything about the background?
Well, their parents were both killed by poachers, and they were brought to the park, and they've been looked after by Daphne Sheldrake from Care for the Wild.
Now, how do you go about fostering a couple of elephants out in Kenya?
Well, it costs £15 for each elephant, and we raised it by each member bringing in £1.
Be a bright spark and turn it off. What's the story behind that one, Kate?
If the lights have been left on, we turn them off and then stick a sticker to prove that they've been left on, and then maybe they'll turn them off.
That's a great idea. Maybe I can use that on the magazine. That's the colour proof, Mick? What do you think? That looks great. It's worked well. I think we've done Deanfield proud, and we've got ourselves a story.
And here it is, the finished article, and very good it is too. So congratulations to the Deanfield Green Group. And thanks too to the Green Magazine for organising that competition. It was very good. Now, if you're interested in getting your name in print, the Green Magazine is still interested in finding articles for the summer months, so it might be worth writing to them, and there'll be details about that in our fact sheet later in the programme. Now, if there's been anything in this programme or any other programme that you're not quite sure about, then a visit to the Natural History Museum in London might well open your eyes just a little. Housed within an enormous greenhouse-like gallery, the museum opened a new ecology exhibition last month. It contains a reconstructed rainforest, gigantic leaf models, and spectacular video displays, including the largest video globe in the world. The exhibit shows how the world really works, and then it goes on to show the kind of impact that we human beings are having on it. And I can tell you, a visit to the museum really is well worth it. I visited there last month and I had a fantastic time, and I must say that I too discovered an awful lot that I didn't really know about before. So if you've got any opportunity at weekends or in your next holiday, pop along there and see what you can find out. Now, if you want to know more about that, indeed anything that we've shown in the programme this morning, then obviously you can write in for our fact sheet. And thanks to all of you who have written in for the fact sheet during the course of the series and for all your enthusiastic support. But don't forget, as normal, please send a stamped addressed envelope to Green Line, BBC Television, London W12 7RJ.
Oh, hello.
And that's it from Green Line.
Sorry to interrupt
Oh,
you.
this
Are you
week.
Jonathan Morris?
No, I'm Jonathan Porritt.
Oh,
good. Well, perhaps you'd review a film for us then, would you?
Certainly.
Simon and myself have secured a Hollywood film contract on the strength of this.
In 1968, two men learned the secret art of the ninja in the steaming jungles of the Far East. A strange quirk of fate and a pushy estate agent brings them together once more as neighbors in Greenwich.
I fancy some toast.
So you want to play games, huh? Now you're mine.
Just time for a cup of coffee before work. Need some sugar in it. Uh-oh. No sugar left. I remember now, that neighbor of mine.
Morning, neighbor. I'm just enjoying a lovely cup of hot, sweet coffee. Hi, neighbor. Nice evening, huh? Do you think I could borrow a cup of sugar?
Sure, you can count on me. You know I've got a sweet tooth. Uh-oh. That's all I've got left.
Well, thanks. That's very kind of you. Bye.
Oh, hi, boss. What? No work? Oh, what with the recession and all that? Oh, great. I've got the day off. Well, that's not so bad. I've got some shopping to do. Thanks a lot. Goodbye. No work.
Hello? Oh, hi, boss. What? No work for me today? Why? Oh, I see. What with the recession and all that. Great. I've got the day off. Fine. Okay. Bye. Good.
Go, boys. Fetch. Sit. Hey, come on, ducks. You hungry? Eat bread. Nice weather for ducks.
There's nothing like a good hot cup of coffee to warm you up. I'd offer you some, but I'm afraid this cup's full of sugar.
That's my sugar.
Great coffee.
Okay now, I've got some lettuce, tomato, a cucumber, a liter of semi-skimmed milk. All I need is sugar. Sugar. Ah, the last packet.
Ah, excuse me.
Look, we have done well.
Excellent sandwich. How about some coffee to go with it?
I like coffee.
Some for you.
Thank you.
Some for me. And some more for you.
Thank you.
Hey, mustn't forget the sugar, of course.
You know I have a sweet tooth. That'll make up for what you borrowed from me. After you.
You're very kind. Sorry, none left.
Unbelievable. We're not actually sure whether or not they're going to get offered a major Hollywood movie or, in fact, just a sandwich bar somewhere in London. That's Ninja Day Off. Sadly, not at your cinemas soon. Welcome, Bananarama.
Thank you, Philip.
You know, I'll do some prize picks in just a few seconds. There was an article in the newspaper which I wanted to just have a quick chat about, and that was they said, you know, the new image change. It's a video. Your new video couldn't possibly be shown on Going Live and programs like that because it was far too raunchy. Yes. What do you say to that?
We never showed our cotton underpants. That's all. Our bloomers. For starters, we couldn't afford to make 2 videos because you have to pay half of it yourself. So it's a complete lie.
Not true.
It's not too raunchy. I'm sure you've seen
very
it.
tame.
It's not at all.
Is it true? Well, we don't need to show the video because you're going to play us out today anyway. Is it true? Having a baby, is that true?
Yes, in November.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's November. You don't know, like, boy or girl. I mean, it's far too early to tell now, I suppose, isn't it?
I can find out in about 3 weeks' time.
Right. Do you want
I'd like to say hello to my little boy. Is that right?
Of course
my
you can.
boy Steve.
Hello, Thomas.
Oh, what a family it is now. The sixth album, Pop Life, due out soon.
Yes.
When's that actually coming out?
First week in May.
What can we expect on there? What sort of stuff?
Oh, a vast array of different styles. Many
cacophony of different styles.
Absolutely. I think
Right.
it's much broader than the Stock Aitken Watermill one we did last time.
Right.
There's still some pop classics, but there's a bit extra as well.
Good stuff. All right. Well, we'll look forward to hearing it a little bit later on. Single, would you like to do some prize picks now? Dip in there.
would.
First one, this is the Sylvia Anderson competition. Whenever you meet Sylvia Anderson, don't say you can see the strings on Thunderbirds, because she doesn't like that at all. The question was, what car did Lady Penelope drive? What was its colour and what was its number plate? The answer was a pink Rolls Royce. It was Fab 1 and...
Vanessa Bruce from Brixton, London.
Congratulations to you. This is your prize. You have won, and it is an incredible prize. I hope you like the Thunderbirds. You have got 15 of their programmes on tape, a cap, international rescue top, and a complete set of Thunderbirds photos as well. On its way to you. Moving along now to the Alita Adams competition. Alita said, how tall am I? How tall is Alita Adams? The answer was 5 foot, 1 3/4 inches. We'll accept anything between 5 foot 1 inch and 5 foot 2 inches. You don't have to be absolutely accurate.
Yes,
She's very tiny. Yes. Who's won that?
Debbie Boyce from Dudley, West Midlands.
Congratulations to you, Debbie. Here's your prize. You have won, and this is another great prize. CD, autographed album, pictures, hat, and a Yamaha keyboard as well. That's yours and on its way. Did you keep that? Oh. Could you keep it? Yeah. Otherwise, poor old Simon Foster will have to rummage through them at the end of the programme. On to the next one now. Jump over here.
A lovely postcard.
Which one of the following was the odd one out? PAL, CCAM, NTSC, and VTOL. Now, in case you wanted to know, in fact, what they meant, PAL is Phase Alternate Line. It's all television terms. NTSC, National Television Systems Committee. CCAM, a French abbreviation which translates to Sequential Colour with Memory. VTOL actually is Vertical Takeoff and Landing, so that was the odd one out.
And this is from Heidi, no surname, of Dobcross in Oldham.
Well done to you, Heidi.
Well done, Heidi.
Congratulations, and here's your prize. You had a great week last week. You have won the television that is shaped like a cycling helmet. That's on its way to you, a remote control colour television. Thank you very much indeed for popping in and doing those. I'll collect those off you now, if that's okay, and we'll see you a little bit later on. You play us out.
Surely.
Terrific, that'd be good. Now then, time for Charlie Green, one of the items now for us, and she's gone completely streetwise. Miss Charlie.
We are constantly bombarded by fashion images from magazines, the music business and television. But how does that influence you? Well, spring is in the air, so we've come to the seaside, to Brighton and the Palace Pier to find out.
I won't let you down. I will not give you up. Gotta have some faith in the sound. It's the one good thing that I've got. I won't let you down. So please don't give me up. 'Cause I would really, really love to stick around. Oh yeah.
I get most of my ideas from the clothes shops because I just go and look around. I don't usually look in magazines.
Most of the fashion you see in magazines, I find at the moment, it's very exploiting for women, like with tight skirts and hot pants and things like that.
I don't know, it's just too 60s for me, and I'm not like that because I don't look good in those black bands or anything.
I normally buy my own clothes. I go downtown and buy them myself.
Yeah.
But if I need the clothes, my mum buys them for me.
My mum buys some of my clothes for me, but I don't really like it very much.
Well, I don't actually buy my clothes. It's mostly my mum. She usually goes out and buys me the clothes, and I get a nice surprise when she comes back.
I choose my own clothes because I just don't trust anyone else's opinion.
My mum sometimes buys the right thing, but sometimes she buys some things that I don't like, so I have to take them back.
How much do you spend on clothes in a month?
Well, some clothes last me a long time, so I don't have to buy them every month.
Yeah.
But I spend about £20.
I don't tend to save up for clothes. If I see something I like, then I buy it.
I spend about £200 maybe if I go on a shopping spree because of my shoes and everything.
In about a month, I spend £30 to £40 on clothes.
Well, my mum gives me an allowance of £20 a month if I pay for like my clothes and where I go out.
I spend quite a bit of money, but sometimes my parents buy my clothes. Usually when I have money from birthdays and things, I spend most of that on clothes.
You obviously like wearing bright colours.
I do because it makes me stand out from other people. I like to wear baseball shirts or cardigans. I like wearing cardigans a lot.
What about sunglasses? Are they a vital part of this sports look?
Yeah, I got them from France. My favourite clothes are jeans, leggings, baggy t-shirts and jumpers because they're comfortable. I like sports clothes because I like playing sports and I like rap music.
There are a group of me and my friends who go around dressed in surfing gear, but I'm usually the only one who carries a surfboard.
Do you like to have your own individual style, or do you like to sort of look like your friends?
I don't really look like my friends because most of them have a lot of money that they can spend on fashion and I can't really afford it.
You like to sort of like fit in with the crowd, but you can like sort of like look a little bit different. But it's always, you always feel something if you look totally different. Right. You feel that you're not like fitting in.
None of my friends really dress how I do. I like wearing what I wear. I wear it because I want to, not because anybody else does. It's my individuality and expresses me.
While some people like to dress like their friends, there are others that would rather stand out in a crowd. But what's really struck me, talking to people today, is that people feel good when they wear clothes that they like, and that style is about individuality and not being a fashion victim.
So, Trev, here we are. This is our last chat. What are we going to do then?
I don't know.
Me?
Don't ask me.
Why not?
Well, I haven't a clue. I don't know what to do.
Well, nor have I.
Well, I don't know, because any ideas we've ever had, we've used in this series already.
Twice.
I don't know. How long have we got to fill here?
About a minute.
Well, we must have done about 30 seconds already.
Good. What can we do then?
We could explode.
Hey?
Well, the World of the Strange exploded sort of last week, didn't they? And the Singing Corner have exploded, the Back Patters have exploded.
But Trev, we can't just end a sketch exploding because we can't think of a proper ending for it.
Yeah, but we haven't even thought of a beginning for this one.
No, you're right. Hang on a minute, I may have the solution. Oh, got to be careful with this drum.
Yeah, mind that drum.
Yeah, I don't want to damage it.
What's that then?
This is the compendium of comedy.
Oh, yeah, oh, good. Well, what does it say about getting out of situations with absolutely no content whatsoever?
Nothing much, really. It says never start something without having an idea. Don't do live TV without any ideas. And if you have to have an idea, just make sure the idea is the ending.
Oh, great. That's great. Well, hang on. What if we get Simon Foster to come in and say something?
Oh, Trev, we've done that more than twice already.
Oh, good.
Oh, thanks.
It's our only hope, though, really. Simon, can you think of an ending for this?
Well, you can't really start a sketch without an idea, can you?
That's
what you tried the compendium of comedy.
Compendium of comedy. Yeah. We've all read that. Can you suggest anything else?
Well, perhaps you should explode like you do in all the other sketches. Can I go now?
Yeah, sure.
Off you go, Simon. Thank you. Oh, well.
Will you please welcome today's press conference guest, David Putnam. David, really millions of questions to get through, so we'll start straight away with one from the floor from Lauren.
What's the difference between a director and a producer?
Very simply, Lauren, it's a good question. It's one that gets asked a lot. Everything that you see on the screen, the finished product of the movie, that's the responsibility of the director. Everything that you can't see that happens behind the camera, including the director himself, to an extent, is the responsibility of the producer. So the producer is responsible for getting everything there and making sure it's all right on the night. The director is actually responsible for entertaining you.
Fair enough. Onto the phones now. If you'd like to pick up your phone, David. And line 1. Hello, 1.
Hello.
Let's put a name to you. It's Kate Simmons, yes?
Hello.
Away you go. Hello.
What effect do you think it had, if any, taking professional actors and film crews out to work with the local people when you filmed The Mission?
Well, it had a lot of effects, actually. It affected us in terms of the fact that the local people, I think, were more professional in many respects and more committed and understood the job they were being asked to do better than we did. It had an enormous impact on the crew. They got to really love, particularly the Indians, they got to really love the Indians, and the commitment the Indians showed towards the movie, I think, inspired all of us. So they were enormously important. But the influence, important thing to say is the influence from the Indians to us, I think, was probably more important than the impact that we had on the Indians.
Great question. Thank you very much indeed for that.
Danielle has got a question.
Do you think you would be able to make Bugsy Malone a success today without lots of merchandise?
I don't know, Danielle. It's a good question. I think that Bugsy Malone would be a success if it came out today. In fact, I've always been slightly surprised that it hasn't been re-released on the cinemas, because I think it is thoroughly entertaining, and because of the fact that it's shot in period and one thing and another, it doesn't date at all. It looks like a film that was made last week. Without merchandising, I don't know. At the time, I used to be very cross that the Rank organisation didn't do more about the merchandising of the film. They seemed absolutely amazed they had a hit on their hands. They couldn't believe it. It kind of caught them by surprise. I don't know. I have to think about that.
Okay, back onto the phones. And line 2. Hello, 2.
Hello.
Hello, who's that?
This is Patrick Griffin.
Hello, Patrick. Away you go with your question.
Hello, David.
Hi, Patrick.
I'd like to know, what is your next project going to be?
Well, I've just finished one called Meeting Venus with Glenn Close that we shot last year in Hungary and in France. And this summer, I go off to Brazil to do a film on the life of a man called Chico Mendes, who was a Brazilian rubber tapper and union leader who tragically was assassinated in Christmas 1988. And I'm making his life story, and I'll be away for about 3 to 4 months.
What made you choose that particular subject?
That particular subject, I was interested in him before he was killed, and I realised what an extraordinarily dangerous life he was leading and how extraordinarily brave he was. And I had a connection through a very famous television producer in this country, Adrian Cowell. And so we were pursuing his story, and then this ghastly thing happened on Christmas Eve 1988, and he was assassinated, and what was an interest became an obsession, really.
Thank you very much indeed for your call, Patrick. Excellent.
Bess has a question now.
Why do you think British films don't do as well as American ones?
Several questions, really, Bess. One is that I think that Americans are incredibly intolerant of accents. They really like to listen to their own voices, and they're not particularly tolerant even of experiences which happen in other parts of the world. We in Britain, probably because we're explorers or maybe because we're an island race, are genuinely interested in what happens in other parts of the world. Americans are more insulated, an insular society. Secondly, I think they're better than us at making pacey commercial movies. They are not as inhibited as we are. We tend to be a little bit po-faced about the pacing of our movies, and they really have got the entertainment aspect of cinema by the throat, and they don't seem prepared to let it go. And I think we're still inhibited. We're learning. We're getting better all the time. But
do you not live your career constantly frustrated?
In a way, I mean, a lot of very, very good British filmmakers spend their lives searching for money instead of making movies. That's the biggest frustration. We could be making a much bigger contribution to world cinema if we weren't constantly strapped for cash.
Back onto the phones now, and it's line 3. Hello, 3.
Hello.
Hello, who's that?
It's Carl Grace.
Hi, Carl, away you go.
Okay, I'd like to know how to go about getting started as a writer and director in film, and I want to go to the National Film and Television School, and I was wondering how do I get experience to get into it?
Well, Carl, you come to the right place. I'm, for my sins or my pleasure, I'm chairman of the National Film and Television School, and it's without doubt the best film school in the world, and I'd say that anywhere. We basically take people in. It's a postgraduate school, but we do occasionally, if the work's good enough, we take people in who haven't gone to university, so you can get in at any point between 18 and 35, actually. What we look for is evidence of your passion for cinema and what you're going to bring to it. Now, if there's one thing missing in Britain, it's writer-directors. Or if there's one thing specifically missing, it's women writer-directors, but I guess you can't solve that problem. So I would have thought that get hold of an 8mm camera or a video camera and prove what you can do. Make films. Don't be embarrassed by the lack of professional quality, because that actually isn't what we're looking for. What we're looking for is originality and ideas and the fact that you have something to say. Bill Forsyth's first film was made on pennies up in Glasgow, called That Sinking Feeling. And it was bought by the BBC, and out of that came an extraordinary career. He was also at the National Film and Television School. So don't think you've got to be extraordinarily professional. Just convince us that you've got really good ideas and that you have something to say.
Have you written the letter yet? Have you written your letter to apply yet?
Sorry, well, I wrote off, and they sent me sort of a pack with, like, booklets and stuff. It said, you need, they don't take in amateurs, you needed a sort of a bit of experience. I was wondering where I'd get the experience from.
Well, I think what they mean by experience is they're assuming that you will have either joined a local cinema club and made movies of some sort. How old are you?
16.
Well, you've got plenty of years ahead of you. If I were you, I'd get your head down for the next 3 years and prove that that anyone that says that you haven't been to a university or haven't got some practical professional experience is wrong, and that you've got something to offer which is unique.
Okay, thanks very much.
Okay.
I think age also. I found out the other day that the director, I think I'm right in saying, the director for Aliens 3 is 26 years old.
Yep.
So age is not necessarily a great burden as well.
No,
it's not,
just
not
good experience. And at the end of the day, what filmmakers are supposed to do is talk to us. There's no point in them talking to us, they haven't got anything to say. So we look for originality, good ideas. One of the problems, in British cinema is that it's almost impossible to imagine a British filmmaker coming up with an idea of a film like Ghostbusters, or an idea. See, we tend to be very literary. We tend to be, we start from the process of books and words, and we sometimes fail to make the imaginative leap. That's why a program like this is incredibly important, because you deal in the imagination. And because it's live, it allows people to realise it isn't a question of good literature, good writing. It's actually about energy, inventiveness and imagination.
Okay. Jonathan's question now.
Why are you so interested in filmmaking?
It goes way beyond being interested, Jonathan. It's a sort of an obsession. It's like an illness, really. It gripped me very young, and I probably never grew up. I never quite shook it off. There's part of me which is still 12 years old and sitting in the cinema, and then there's a big part of me which is sort of remaking movies for that 12-year-old. So it's a sort of an illness.
Stefan's question now.
What inspired you to make Memphis Belle?
Comes back to the similar thing. I saw some films when I was young that I thought I cared a lot about, and I realised there was a type of film, or felt there was a type of film not being made anymore. I wanted to make a really thoroughly exciting film which had a kind of ethic to it. And the Memphis Belle offered all sorts of opportunities. For example, there was a sense in the 80s that society was collapsing and that teamwork was unimportant. And I really wanted to do a film which emphasised teamwork, emphasised people working together, caring about each other, and in caring about each other, actually saving each other. And I thought it was an interesting kind of, I don't mean the word message, it is too heavy. I just thought it was an interesting thing to address people to and let them see that people under pressure, people under stress, young people, the average age of the crews of the Memphis Belle was 18 and 19. People under pressure are capable of being extraordinarily heroic and behaving very, very well indeed. And in a world which frequently only seems prepared to reflect on its inadequacies, I just thought it was a nice idea to make a film about how wonderful people can be.
Is there, if a film is good enough, can it be released at any time? Or are there sometimes the wrong time for the right film, or the right film at the wrong time when it comes to releasing a film or even making a film?
I think the atmosphere into which you release a film can have a lot to do with an enormous amount of the way in which a film is perceived. For example, Chariots of Fire, for good or ill, benefited from the sense of patriotism that was around at the time of the Falklands. And it certainly kind of, we in a way rode the surf of that. It obviously wasn't intended because we started the film 4 years beforehand. The Memphis Belle, the opposite happened. I think that the Memphis Belle, in a way, potentially was misperceived, coming out as it did at the time of the Gulf conflict. It's a much easier film to look at now because you can reflect on it and see what the film has to say. For example, on the television news, all we ever saw were planes taking off, didn't we? Lots and lots of shots of hardware. And in every one of those planes, there's a human being, and those human beings have emotions. So I think the fact that Memphis Belle shows what it's like to be scared and what it's like to overcome that fear is important.
Let's see if we can just quickly get line 5 in. We've got about a minute, I think. Hello, line 5.
Hello.
Hello, who's that?
Natasha.
It's Natasha.
Yeah.
Away you go with your question, Natasha.
Have you ever wanted to be on the other side of the camera and be an actor?
Natasha, I'm sitting here at the moment in a way I am the other side of the camera, and it's terrifying. I'd much rather go back to where the cameraman is who's pointing the camera at me at the moment. I'd be a lot more comfortable and I wouldn't be nearly as nervous. So I guess the answer simply, honestly, is no.
Terrific. Thank you very much indeed for your question.
Thanks, Natasha.
Fabulous.
Thanks, Natasha.
An incredible subject, and it would be lovely if we could maybe persuade you in our next series or later on to come back and continue it, because I know we've got masses and masses of questions.
To get
No problem.
So
Very
we'll
happily.
pick up next time. David, thank you so much for coming in. Look forward to seeing you again. Hyperpick time now.
Here they are. Once more, all those prizes have gone in.
Hello there. Hello, I'm afraid Trev and Simon couldn't be here because they exploded, so I'm here. I'm Toyah. Now, I wonder who's in the Hyperpick skip. Who's in there? Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hello. Hey, who are you?
I'm Hairhead.
Hairhead? My,
Yes.
You've got a fine head of hair, haven't
Thank you.
Yeah, so do you want to pick out a winner?
I'll pick out a winner, shall I?
Okay, because the winner wins this lovely bag, they win this lovely hat, they win a bum bag, and another bag. What a lot of bags you can win. Oh, sorry about that. And who's the winner?
The winner is Christopher Payne from Somerset.
Well done, Christopher Payne.
And he's 7.
You're the winner. Well done. So you win these lovely bags down here. Do you want to have another look? There they are. Fantastic.
That's marvellous. Actually, it's not Hairhead.
Is it? Who is it? Oh, it's Simon.
Yes, I know.
Now.
It stretches out much longer, you know.
Down around the corner, half a mile from here, see them on trains run, and you watch them disappear. Without love, where would you be now? Where would you be now? Without love.
Well, there we are. We've come, sadly, to the end of this series of Going Live, programme 30, but we will, of course, be back in September.
We will. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, everybody who's joined us on the programme. Thank you to everyone who's phoned us up, and we look forward to seeing you in the autumn.
We will be back in the autumn, bigger and better than ever, because, in fact, we will be in stereo.
Stereo. Stereo.
Have a great summer.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you in the autumn.
This afternoon on 2, James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause.
He was always a lovely boy.
I'm cute, too.
Move.
Is that meaning me?
Is that meaning me? What? A chicken.
You shouldn't call me that.
The movie that made a star, Rebel Without a Cause. This afternoon, 10 to 5 on 2.
Grandstand in a couple of minutes includes a preview of tomorrow's FA Cup semi-finals, golf in the US Masters and racing from Ascot. First on 1, let's find out how the weather's going to affect the day with Ian McGaskill.
Hello, it looks like a fine weekend for sport. I suppose any weekend's a fine weekend for sport, but this one isn't bad, not perfect, but not bad. Let me show you these pictures first of all, because even further afield, there's still useful snow over the Alps. Good skiing still available in brilliant sunshine over the higher Alps. Indeed, there's still some usable snow up over the Highlands of Scotland as well. This front becoming a very weak feature over the country. There's a huge area of high pressure building to the northwest, and that's doing two things. It's killing this weather front here, stone dead, no more than the odd spot of drizzle in the northeast of England at the moment. It's doing something else. It's strengthening a northeasterly flow over much of the country at the moment. That means cooler conditions coming in off the North Sea, particularly over central and eastern parts of England and Wales. That's the position for tomorrow. Still that cool northeasterly flow over England and Wales, probably more cloud in the southern half of Britain tomorrow than we have today. These fronts perhaps giving a little rain in the far north of Scotland as we go through Sunday and Monday, but most of us staying completely dry, and that dry weather indeed lasting well into next week. A lot of dry weather to come. Not good news for East Anglia, but good news for the rest of the country, and that's the picture for today. Dry just about everywhere. There have been a few showers in the Highlands and in the Northern Isles. They're dying away now. A much brighter day than they've had for some time over Northern Ireland and Scotland. Glasgow, for one, is glad of this. Already, Glasgow have had the wettest April since 1949. I remember it well. Still, as I say, that cloud and drizzle near that northeast coast of England, some mist too in places, and that cloud tending to spread southwards towards East Anglia during the afternoon. But sunshine at times over many central and southern parts of England.